My name is Ethanra, and welcome back to the long-awaited Dissidia Final Fantasy, Opera Omnia. Now, I apologize if I sounded kind of weird with the intro there. I've been doing this for a long time. I can't even begin to tell you how many retries I've had to do. At one point, I was doing it for an hour straight. I had to take a break. I just came back from that break, remaking the video again, and still messing up. So, it's been quite a day for something that should be so simple. But this is me we're talking about, so you know it's not an Ethanra video unless there's like 75 mistakes. So getting into the meat of the issue, there's two reasons why I'm making this now. One is I was talking to my mysterious friend about this game. We're both Final Fantasy fans, but they've never played it. So I figured, well, tell you what, there's this really great Final Fantasy mobile game. I think you'll really like it, and if you do, we can hang out and level you up at some point and stuff. So they agreed and they tried it out. And interestingly, they'd never seen any of my Final Fantasy Dissidia videos, so I told them, well, tell you what, I'll watch them with you. That way you don't have to suffer through the mediocrity all on your own. And they had a good laugh about that. The second reason is my boy Noctis has gotten significantly better. He was already good, but now he's amazing. Being the biggest Noctis fan, specifically Noctis, as well as being one of the 15 sole humans in the entire course of human history who actually enjoys and likes Final Fantasy 15, naturally I had to make a video on this, unlike those posers who are only using my Noctis because of how great he is, especially now. Noctis isn't as strong as he could be. I was going to actually kind of hold off and wait till then, but there's no telling when that's going to happen. It will take a while, I can tell you that, but I decided to just go ahead and make this now. And again, especially since I talked to my mysterious friend about that. So on that note, as I said, I had to remake this video countless times. Please excuse the very top of the screen showing all my stuff like Twitter, YouTube, all that stuff, because I know how I can remove that, but if I do that, that'll actually make the flow of the video even worse. So please ignore it to the best of your ability. So some of the reasons I had to remake this video so many times is because mostly it was me. I would mess up the intro, I literally don't know how many times, or my dialogue be really poor, or I would press the wrong button, like that arrow at the top right corner of the screen. Instead of pressing that, I would bring down the screen of my phone, which, like I said, disrupts the entire video, so I had to start all over again. Or I'd get random messages or notifications. Some of those messages would be from my mysterious friend, the very person I'm making this video for, so you better appreciate it. You know who you are. All those resets just for you. Now getting into the main thing is I'm going to show you two significant changes about Noctis. I have his LD weapon and his BT weapon. And I got them in 20k gems. A friend of mine told me that I was lucky to do that, but I told him no, my ironic luck makes sure I am never ever lucky. It's just my love for Noctis is greater than most people's love for him. So my superior love won out, and that's how I got his weapon so fast. And another thing is, just for fun, I would run with the engine blade, and I would have to like lower all my skills and whatnot whenever I'm doing low-level content so I could run with the engine blade equipped, because I despise how the runed saber, and for that matter the sword of the wise, look, because from a distance they just look like basic swords, unlike the engine blade, which is incredibly iconic and stand out. So now that they've made that into a glamour, that's a Final Fantasy 14 term for you there, I'm greatly appreciative of that, because now I get to run with my favorite looking sword without having to sacrifice my stats. I'm very great about that. And then near the dark purple crystal, the one right under level, Noctis is 2/3 of the way realized. That's probably the wrong term, but another way to put it would be he's 2/3 of being fully maxed out as far as his personal skills are concerned. And then the orange crystal with the gold 9, that means I have all the summons in the game currently, as far as the summon board is concerned, mastered. So he's much stronger than the last video I showed him in. And you probably saw some of his skills at the bottom right corner there. and I would take on this fight by myself with just Noctis, but I'm not sure how to remove my party members, so if anything, they'll be there for moral support. And for those of you who have played Final Fantasy 15 and or know about his BT skill, you'll know exactly why I chose to do the fight with Leviathan, opposed to all other possible primals, or sorry, summons in this game. So Noctis's first skill, oh, I pressed the wrong button, almost ruined it. I think that actually kind of fixed the issue though, is Steel Pirouette. I'm not even going to pretend that I know what all this does, or I know what it does, but it's kind of hard to explain, so I'll just leave it there for you to read. It took me a while to grasp what the LD and BT do because they're so long in the tooth. It takes a while to really elaborate on what all they do. And the second thing is the burst. These are also my first LD and BT weapons, so of course I'm going to make sure Noctis is the first one to get those. I challenge you to tell me that was not thematically appropriate, that Noctis would use that ability against Leviathan, the same entity that he fought in Final Fantasy 15, where he awakened his true powers for the first time. I love it. Also, I love, apparently, when it comes to Limit Burst, or sorry, not Limit Burst, but the BT weapons, when you use your burst ability, I guess you call it Limit Burst if you want, it plays the victory fanfare from that Final Fantasy series. So right now it's playing the victory fanfare from Final Fantasy 15. So I imagine when Cloud finally gets his Omni Slash, which I'm 100% certain is going to come in his BT weapon, when you defeat an enemy with Omni Slash, it should play the Final Fantasy 7 fanfare, victory fanfare, as well as, in addition to that super awesome attack that you saw, it's basically a second summon, and it also gives you an ability for a limited amount of turns. Like when Noctis does his Limit Burst attack and the enemy still survives, he'll get this buff where as long as someone on your team does some kind of damaging attack, Noctis will cut in afterwards and do his own attack, and he'll do it for his own attack. So you can use Noctis's normal attack, then have him follow up with his warp attack, and then he'll do his burst ability attack. Just back to back to back, so it's really awesome. I don't know if this will be the last video on this or not. Probably not. Probably when I have Noctis fully realized, that'll be the last one. But I've held you all hostage long enough. Thank you for putting up with my ramblings, and hopefully, God, please let this be the last time I've had to go this far in the video. Let me end it now before it cuts off. Thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully this will be the last one. I don't have to remake it 75 times. And I'll see you all next time.